Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and welcome to this one-shot for Super Boss Monster, the latest release within the Boss Monster universe. Boss Monster as a game has been around for like 10 plus years now, designed and published from the awesome people over at Brotherwise Games. This right here is the latest version of it. So for the original Boss Monster, it had such a huge history to it. You have a bunch of different big expansions and little expansions, but then Super Boss Monster came out, which is its own standalone, newer generation type thing, but it is fully backwards compatible with all of the older Boss Monster stuff that you may or may want to get in the future or something along that ways. I have a few of them, and I kind of did something with this that's going to go into here, but I'll explain all that momentarily. Basically, right now, Super Boss Monster is the current one, was released in 2025. On Kickstarter, you can possibly find Super Boss Monster 2. As of this recording, that Kickstarter is live. Best to go check it out anyway, you know, regardless of how long it is since, you know, they're watching this, only because you have a really cool new mechanic to it, and in it itself is a standalone expansion. So you can either get Super Boss Monster, Super Boss Monster 2, or you can get them both and combine them together, or just get them everything and have a crazy Boss Monster experience. The game itself is a competitive dungeon building experience. You have your room deck that you draw from here. You create a dungeon of up to 5 cards, and each one of those dungeons are led by a big bad boss. Art style done to basically retro gaming. The original Boss Monster was in the like a Nintendo style. Super Boss Monster is Super Nintendo, as you can tell by the design of the box. And just from the future from here, it's going to be odd. 10 years from now, we may get Boss Monster 64, and that'll be absolutely amazing. But regardless of all that, I wanted to show off the solo mode, which was introduced for Super Boss Monster, and kind of just show you how that plays, do a playthrough of it for you guys, but also give you some tips and suggestions about combining sets together when doing solo mode and just in general. So when you're playing solo mode, Brotherwise Games actually gave this really handy paper. Here we go. So we got some set combination guides right here, and this is pretty much how to combine your sets together, mainly whenever you're doing solo mode, but there are other things to kind of keep in mind as well. They talk about balance purposes and everything like that. There's just been so many cards for this game that, you know, you're going to go through it, and there'll be specific cards that you shouldn't have when you're doing solo mode. Anything that generally refers to your opponent should always be taken out. And then maybe there's other things that you may want to add or remove or whatever. There's also a golden rule to this where you only use one set of heroes, no matter how many sets of boss monsters or super monsters you combine into play. I'm going to be honest with you, I have so far tarnished that rule beyond all belief, but I will explain that about how I go forward and do it. But so you have this side right here. On the back, you have a little bit more as well for other set combinations. And then in the actual rule book for Super Boss Monster, near the back for solo mode, if you scan this QR code, then you're going to be able to see what you need to pull out for the original Boss Monster and Boss Monster the next level. Those are the two sets that I have in addition to Super Boss Monster. So I had to go into that and take a look to see what was removed. But generally speaking, as I mentioned before, you're going to just be taking out cards that refer to your opponent. Now, let's remove this, and we have ourselves our board. This is, the town is a brand new thing that was introduced for Super Boss Monster. If you're playing multiplayer, you're going to be using this side, so you're 2, 3, and 4 players. This is how many heroes are going to come out on the field. And then this is your market down here on the bottom where you're going to be drafting your cards. Heroes are also going to be making their way down here to the different locations, and they, if they are going to be brought into a dungeon, they will get buffs, so you can send them over somewhere. It's really cool in how they do this. It actually adds a worker placement aspect to the game, and that's what all those little meeples up there are for. However, because we are doing solo mode, we are going to be on this side, and a lot of this is now determining pulling heroes from your town as fast as you can, because the moment a hero hits the tavern, game over. So let's talk about the heroes really quickly. If you notice right here, I have 2 really big stacks of cards. Both of them are heroes that you're going to encounter within the game. The Gray ones here are your ordinary heroes, and these are your epic heroes. Again, if you're going by the rulebook, you're just going to have one set of any of them. And if you ever look at any of your guys, there's always going to be a symbol somewhere down on the bottom of it that tells you where it's from. So that's from, it's very hard to see, very, very hard to see. It's hard to see in real life, to be honest with you, but that's for the original boss monster. If I can find a number 2, there's a number 2 down there for a boss monster 2. Super boss monster looks a little different, a little cleaner. And they have the symbol right there. Basically what I've done for the ordinary heroes is I've just taken all the thieves, fighters, mages, and clerics from all of those sets, and I've combined them together. Again, you're not supposed to do that according to Golden Rule. But the way that I've been playing it, and I've done like 5 or 6 games this way so far, I actually really like this. It adds a new depth of strategy to the game because you have no idea what symbols are going to come out. Yeah, there's the balance of it that Brotherwise Games tries to put out initially where, you know, X amount of each symbol would be in the pile. But now here, there are 7, I believe, of each symbol. As I talk and mess up my shuffling, there's 7 of each symbol in here. So yes, there is a possibility that I could get a run of all the same symbol. But again, I like that because you just never know. You never know how heroes are going to come to your town. You never know what's going to need to be attracted. And then if you manage to line it up perfectly, you're going to have a great time. Otherwise it's a strategy game. You need to figure out like what things you got to do, what spells you got to play, and what effects you got to hit in order to be able to pull the heroes effectively. And I like that, like, because you just never know. As far as the epic hero goes, it's going to be the same thing. It's just the epic versions of those same characters, the cleric, the fighter, the thief, and the wizard. Nothing from the launch, crash landing, whatever it is, the science one, the green one, the one that has the little green blaster with it. I don't have any of those things mixed in, and I'll talk about all that a little bit later afterwards. But for right now, it's just those 4. But there's also no special effect heroes in either of these, by the way. With the exception, let's see if I can find one here really quickly. Here we go. With the exception of dual treasure heroes. So the way that I work with this is that if a dual treasure hero happens to show up, say they are up there. Under normal circumstances, when a hero is up here, let's just take this cleric, for example. If you're playing normal mode on solo mode, then it's that many of that symbol in order to bring them to your dungeon. So I would need 4 onks. If you're playing hard mode, then it would be that many plus 1. So it'd be 5 onks altogether. When I have a multi-treasure hero, if I'm going for 4, I would need at least 1 of each. So 1 book and 1 sword, and then any combination to make up the last 2. So 2 more swords, 2 more books, 1 sword, or 1 book. If this was hard mode, then it would just be 3 of any combination. So it'd be 5 altogether, but I would need at least 1 of each. When I move over to the next thing, it's 3. So 1 of each and then 1 extra. Moving on over for 2, 1 of each. And then if it's in the 1 spot, then I only need either a book or a sword in this case in order to pull it to my dungeon. That 1 spot is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to pull the guys in better. These also do have special abilities on them as well, but all the special abilities that I've read so far for all of the dual treasure heroes have been very, very manageable and easy to use and function within solo mode. So this is your first step for playing the game, and this is how I like to do it. I feel that as I get more sets in the future, this will still work. I'll let you know as that happens. All right, so let's set up our heroes for solo mode. You will need 12 of each. This is a beat your own score game. I really do believe that you could get a campaign style game with this going if you had the right cards for it, maybe some boosts for both the heroes and the monsters, or sorry, the bosses, I should say, as you go through like maybe a 5-game campaign to try to get the best score you can out of all of that. But for right now, it's just simply a beat your own score, maximum score of 36, because each one of the epic heroes is worth 2 points. So we're going to do 12 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And look at that. See how many other heroes I haven't used for this game? That's great. I don't even need to use these in another game, and I can just throw them down, and it's a completely different game. I like the variability. I like having the ability, personally, this is how I like doing it, of having cards that don't go to waste, or that the more I play, the more variable, the different a game can be every single time, just because you never know. You never know what you're going to get, and every game will be unique that way because you're not just looking for the same cards over and over again to win. You're playing with what you have and working it out from there. So we have 12 of the epic heroes, and now we have 12 of the regular heroes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. With that said, these guys go together. Boom, boom, boom. Now we have our hero deck. Next, let's talk about our spells and our room decks. Again, they don't really recommend that you do too much mixing together within all the sets. I am not a fan of that. I think that there is a way that is possible to do that type of mixing without there being that much delusion. And it really all depends on what sets you use. I don't think I'm going to ever get that 5 and 6 player one because I would need to have the green cards to the side and shuffle those in separately. I don't think I would ever have the mini bosses as well, because you would need to have those aside because they have that coin mechanic that's separate. For right now, with the original Boss Monster the next level, and Super Boss Monster, I have this pile of room cards. There is 121 cards within this deck so far. That is too much, just letting you know right now. Basically what I did is I went through each one of those games, starting with Boss Monster, then Next Level, then Super Boss Monster, separated all the cards out into the 4 symbols and golden cards, which have multiple symbols on them. I removed anything with the word opponent, or what was suggested from Brotherwise Games, which is pretty much the exact same thing. And then I went with what I had left, and anything that was a duplicate, I removed one of them from the stack. So if I had like 2 or 3 of a card, I always removed one, so it always reduced down. I did that with all 3 sets, getting a stack of 121 cards. Now what I'm going to do is, I mean, this has been mixed a thousand times, so I'm just going to do some quick cutting right here for everything, just to kind of mix it up a little bit more. And now I'm going to remove 21 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So now I have a stack of 100. I should probably have a stack of 80. 80 would probably be better. But for right now, we're just going to do that. These are removed from the game. Now in future games, I can shuffle them back in, and that is more variability to the game. Trust me, I've done this so many times. I don't think I've ever gone through, I think I've gone through maybe half of this deck at any one time. So that's why I think another 20 wouldn't even be so bad. But it's still pretty balanced. There's still plenty in here in order to find the rooms you need and find the stuff that you want. And with any game of Boss Monster, some people out there may be like, oh no, what if you draw too many of the same room? That could happen in any game. That could literally happen in any game of Boss Monster, where depending how you shuffle, you could have all book heroes up here and all the cards, that you have down in the market and the majority in your hand are all like swords or ankhs. It's like that could happen anytime. So now it's a matter of strategizing what ones you need to focus on, what abilities you need to focus on, and then also where you put your meeple. Spells were pretty much exactly the same thing. I did the same type of division that I did with the other ones, separated it off into the 3 sets, took out anything that referred to other characters, and then divided them out from there. There were a few that I left their duplicates in because otherwise this is like a 35 card deck. Prior to that, it was only like 28 cards. I felt like I needed more spell cards in order to be able to do more and have more options. So the majority of the Super Boss Monster cards are in here in all of their numeric form. But I think this will never go higher than 40. Like as I get other sets and start replacing stuff in here, I think 40 will be the limit. And if I ever get more cards in here that go beyond 40, I'll do the same thing that I did with the room cards. And that would be just taking out X amount of cards until it's down to a certain number. So that is how I do the spell cards. And we'll put all these in the market in a little bit. We don't need to do that right now. What we need to do is figure out who our boss is going to be. And that's going to be from this set of cards right here. This is mostly Super Boss Monster cards. I think I have a few promo cards shuffled in here. You can go in and do a lot of your Boss Monster cards from any of those sets. But again, watch their special abilities. If anything says your opponent or another dungeon or something along that ways that refers to anybody other than you, the player, remove it. You got to remove it. You can't use it for solo mode. But that still enables you to get a pretty decent amount of cards in this deck and give you a huge amount of replayability. And each one of these bosses are very unique. They have all these different powers and abilities to them that change the game all over the place. And at its core, I will keep saying this because I believe that is how this works. Sure, whatever. Get back here, you guys. This is a strategy game in the long run, and you need to figure out what cards work best in conjunction and comboing together as you play, and just work on trying to get the best score you can. All right, with all that terrible shuffling in hand, because I'm trying to talk and do this, let's go ahead and pick our bosses. So we have 2 bosses that we come down. Rest of these gone from the game. We do not need them. First boss, we have, ooh, Kirax, the ultimate Red Eyes Gold Dragon. Oh, leveling this guy up. So the way that you level up is if when you build 5 dungeons, you are leveled up. That means that I gained this ability, which is a new location ability, placement ability. I got to remember what the exact word is from the book. But this gives me a new spot to put my meeple. And by putting that there, I can then gain all of these symbols until the next turn, making Kirax like this ultimate thing where I can have one of every symbol. Very, very helpful for luring enemies. The other one we have is the narrator. This one is a book. So they each come with their first symbol. We got the thief symbol and the book symbol, or the mage symbol right here. The narrator is for the rest of the game, once per turn. If you have no cards in hand, you may draw 5 room cards and 2 spell cards. See, that's really good if you're doing something that's like dumping cards all the way, which again, you may get that ability, you may not. I may just go with that because I've done Kirax before. Kirax is awesome. I actually have the foil version. Here it is. I have the shiny foil version of Kirax here. Very nicely done. I probably have to put that inside of a special protector, keep that going. But we all know that Kirax is broken and awesome and is 1 million experience, which is your tiebreaker, and you're determining on who goes first, but it doesn't matter in solo mode. Let's go with the narrator because in all of my games, I like narrating my stories, so it just feels appropriate that this is what we use. So we're going to put that down over here, and the last thing we're going to do as a setup, and this isn't something that you need to do as a setup, I just am going to do it anyway for this sake, is we're going to determine what color our meeple is going to be. So let's go ahead and shuffle these up. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll a 6-sided dice. Number 6, purple. Our minion is purple for this game. Congratulations, purple minion. Let's bring you down over here and let's start this game up. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw 5 room cards and 2 spell cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 spell cards. 1, 2. And I'll just place my hand over here just so when I'm looking at it, I can see it from here. But then when we're looking at it together, you can always just pause the camera and take a look. I'm also going to try to put them up as a bigger thing as I put them down. So first we have the Lost Library. You may destroy this room to draw 2 spell cards, then discard a spell card. So that's always fun. That's drawing and discarding. All right, this has 2 books on it, and we'll do 1 damage to a hero when it came in. This is a basic trap room. We then also have an advanced trap room. Now, I'm going to explain the rooms once we finish this. Once per turn, you may destroy another room in your... Wow, a lot of destruction in these. To give your room +2 damage until the end of turn. That is pulling a money bags. We have a spawn point right here. Once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, draw 2 room cards. All right, so I probably won't be... that might be the first one I play, honestly. Cobalt Union. When you build this room, give all traps adjacent to this room a +1 counter. Counters are very important in Super Boss Monster. It's like kind of their big thing that they introduced. And my 5th one I have here is the Monster Ballroom. This room's damage is equal to the number of monster rooms in your dungeon. I love it. That's so amazing. Our 2 spells are Fireball. You would roll a dice and you would do 1 to 6 damage to a hero in your dungeon. And if you discard another spell, you could deal 1 to 6 damage, rolling the dice again, to each hero at the entrance of your dungeon. Oh, I love this spell. It's so good for mass destruction. And finally, we have Annihilator. Give 1 trap room +3 until the end of turn. The way that the boss monster rooms work out is that there are 2 different types that each come in 2 different levels. You have trap rooms, which are these skull ones up here, and monster rooms, which are these monster heads. The gold ones are your advanced rooms. When placing a room in your dungeon, you can place any basic room, so that'd be the silver one, in the furthest right spot or over an existing piece on your dungeon. It doesn't really matter. If you need to place a advanced room, it can only go on top of a room that shares one of the symbols. So this Crushinator can actually go on top of the Cobalt Union because they share a thief symbol. Problem is you lose a sword symbol in this case. Same thing with this Monster Ballroom. This Monster Ballroom can go on top of this one because it shares a symbol to it. Keep in mind, whenever you build a room on top of another one, if there are existing counters on it, those counters go away. They do not carry over to the card that you put on. Furthermore, whenever you put something on top of it, you're now creating a stack of cards, destroying a room that's like, say it was like this. If this gets destroyed, the Cobalt Union will stay in play then. It won't have any of the counters on it, but it will still be in play. So keep all that in mind as we go through it. I don't think there's really anything else having to do with building out the dungeon, so why don't we do our first build of the game, because you always start off with one build. And I think the best thing for me to do is to, I would love this in order to get some traps in play, but I really want to get better stuff. Let's actually take the spawn point. I think the spawn point is a great one to grab once per turn. If a hero dies in this room, draw 2 room cards. So that'll be good. I'll just keep everything here, and as I gain and use, I'll just take it out. This is our hand for the purpose of this game. So now down here is where I will be building our dungeon. We have our boss right here, and our first dungeon is going to go right there, or a piece of our dungeon for the spawn point. We'll be able to do 2 damage to whatever it is that heads in there. Now we start the game. Super Boss Monster is played over 6 phases. Phase number 1 is the town phase. Doing that, you're going to restock the market, which is down here. The second thing you're going to do is restock the heroes, and then you're going to place your minion anywhere on the board in order to gain certain effects that are on the board, or depending on if you have them available for your boss monster, what it is that they can do as well, or any other dungeons. You may have a dungeon piece that has one of those locations to it that you can put your minion on. For solo mode, you will always draw 3 heroes into your town. It doesn't matter how many of these are spaced out or whatever. You will always draw 3 heroes, and they will always go into your town. Any existing heroes you have will always move up to the lowest number of treasures needed, moving across. If a hero ever needs to go here and there's no space, they immediately come down here and start filling out this row left to right. If a hero, again, I mentioned this before, ever hits the tavern, it's an immediate game over. The market itself is made up of 2 spaces for rooms and 1 for your spell. In addition to placing your meeple, you will be drafting one of these 3 cards into your hand to be able to use for the upcoming adventure phase. So our first room down is a mouse trap. Basic trap room. Each turn, deal 2 damage to the first hero to enter this room. Ooh, that's so nice. I like that. Next, we have another double book. The Dark Laboratory, however you want to, laboratory, as I remember Dexter would always say. When you build this room, draw 2 spell cards, then discard a spell card. As far as our spell card goes, it's over! Kill 1 hero in your dungeon who has 3 or less health, or if you have 3 damage or more, kill 1 hero in your dungeon. I'll explain that once we get to the adventure phase. All right, so let's stock up our first 3 heroes, which they are all going to be basic heroes. We have a thief coming in. That's great. I definitely want to try to get that. A cleric, so there's an Ankh symbol, and another cleric, so it's another Ankh symbol. So I know that going in the future, I'm going to probably want to try to get Ankh symbols in order to try to get these guys to me. At minimum, I'll always need 1, but right now for this guy, because I'm playing basic, I need 2 in order to draw him and 3 in order to draw him. So right now, I think all I'm going to really worry about is getting that thief to me. So now I would be able to draft cards from the market here, and I think I'm going to grab the mousetrap because I really like that card, so that's going to come to me. And then we're going to take our purple meeple here, and I'm going to put them on the temple, but I'm going to put them right up here. So the different symbols up here Wherever you put your meeple, if you ever put your meeple to the far left, that just means you gain one of that type of treasure into your dungeon. So if I was short one Ankh, I could have put the meeple here, and that would have given me that particular treasure for this turn, thus being able to attract more heroes. For the temple, the one right next to it is take one of the remaining cards in the market, if there are any. Usually there's exactly one left, but in solo mode, you'll generally have two. For the stadium, you get to draw a room card from the top of the room deck, sight unseen, so it is what it is, whatever you get. For the library, you draw a spell card, but then you must discard one. And then for the hideout, the very last room in your dungeon gets +2 damage. This is different than a counter. It doesn't get a +2 counter on it. This is just 2 additional damage. 2 very different things that you got to remember as you play through solo mode. So I'm going to put my meeple here on the temple, and I'm going to take its on as a spell card just so I have that, because I think this is going to help me out quite a bit in the future. And we'll put that right here. We'll put this right here. And now what we get to do is we get to build another room in our dungeon. And I'm actually going to take this mousetrap, because it's each turn. It only does 1 damage, but the second a hero walks into it, it snaps shut and deals another point of damage. Ideally, what I want to do is grab this and then something, and then the Cobalt Union in order to get a counter on this in order to make it even more powerful. So I'm going to build that. All right, so I often do this. I kind of did it a little out of order if you're literally going point by point by point. But town phase, as I mentioned, was where everything comes here and you put down your meeple and whatnot. The build phase is when you build your room. So I would have already taken this room as part of my draft, which then would have had me take this and put this right here as my second room as for the build phase. Normally, if you were playing multiple people, you would build it face down, and then once everyone has a room, you would go 1, 2, 3, flip them face up, and if any room had a when revealed ability, it would immediately trigger. It's fine. It will always just trigger regardless because you're the only one playing. It just kind of goes down. So that's the build phase. The next would be the meeple, or I'm sorry, yeah, the minion phase, where your minion's figure would trigger, and I chose to grab this. If I had put this here, and there was a hero here, I would then immediately lure that hero into the dungeon, and that's when I would get it. That hero, though, would gain 2 health, but I didn't choose to do that. I put that here, and thus, it's on, went into my hands. Build phase, minion phase. Now for the bait phase. For the bait phase, you want to check out what symbols you need for the heroes in town. In this case, unfortunately, all I can do is bring this thief into my dungeon because I have 1 treasure within it, and that's what this thief is looking for. So with that said, we're going to grab this guy, and it's going to go right here to the front of the dungeon, in which case then we go into the adventure phase, and that would be when this hero moves forward. Let's learn a little bit about our thief here. Jenny Smith, novice time traveler. After finding a magical tree fort, Jenny has gone on an adventure throughout time and space, but she's always home for dinner. And now we start the adventure phase where our hero travels its way through the dungeon. What we want to do is deal enough damage to the hero equal to its health. Jenny here has 4 health. If we can deal 4 health to her by the time she reaches the end, she flips over and we have taken her soul, which is effectively a victory point. However, if she makes it to the narrator, always talking about what's next, then this would actually go underneath our boss, dealing it 1 wound. That is the health thing that I mentioned with the It's On card. If I ever get 5 wounds, it's immediate game over. So I have to really be careful on that. However, I don't think that's going to matter. Jenny's now going to start moving through. She's going to go into the mousetrap room, and unfortunately she takes 1 damage, and then 2 damage to the first hero. So snap, snap, 3 damage to her, and then boom, into the spawn point, dealing 2 more damage, finishing her off. Boom, she goes down, and once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, we draw 2 room cards. So those 2 cards that we happen to draw, see, we got a save point for the Ankh symbol. You may destroy this room to retrieve 1 spell card from the discard pile that you played this turn. Now, it doesn't do any damage, but it does add an Ankh, which isn't bad. And then at the beginning of your turn from the Haunted Library, you may draw from the spell deck instead of the room deck. Interesting. All right, let's see. So I'm guessing in that situation, I would have 3 spells on the field instead of rooms, which is not a bad thing. If I could just start getting a ton of spells, And I'm already, that spawn point thing is probably going to give me enough in order to, keep my hand at height. I don't think there's a maximum hand level, but if there is, I'm sure you guys, let's actually do this. Let's move these over and keep all of the rooms where we need to save rooms together and, trap rooms together and monster rooms. Now that the adventure is over, it is the cleanup phase where anything that was in here goes to the discard pile of their set area. So the rooms here and the spells would go up here. And then the rest of the heroes, well, we would take our meeple back. They would go back to their home, which is right here. And then the rest of these would move over. And now we move into the next round. I'm going to explain how spell cards work in a moment, but for right now, let's go ahead and fill this up with our next set of heroes. We have a mage right here. We have a fighter right here. And because we need 3 and we can't fit any more, it's actually going to go down here to the temple, another fighter. Okay, so these clerics, we're going to have to try to find a way to get to them, to us, as soon as we can, but I feel like I could actually pull that mage pretty quickly too. Let's see what our new rooms are. First, we have the traveling library. Here, there you go, that has a location on it. You may discard a room card to draw a spell card. Again, I think I'm gonna be getting room cards like crazy in this, so that might not be the worst thing to get. And the gauntlet. When you build this room, give it a +1 counter for each money symbol in your dungeon. Awesome. Thing with counters. If you're playing solo mode, a room is only allowed up to 4 counters on it. That is it. You can still boost its power using those +2 or whatever until the end of turn things, but anything that has the word counter in it, you can only have 4 of those per room. Spell is, oh, I love that card. Princess in Peril. Choose a hero in town and place it at the entrance to your dungeon. Okay, all right. I think I know what we're gonna do here. Well, I know the first thing I'm doing here is I'm drafting Princess in Peril because I love this spell card so much. It is so good. Now, granted, I think I have something that I might be able to pull from, no, it's something that I would play this turn. Never mind. And so I'm going to take this card as my draft for the turn. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my meeple. Where do I want to put this meeple? I really can grab that mage. Do I want to do that? Let's try that. Let's actually grab it. So I'm going to put my meeple here in the library and we're going to put it on top of this book symbol. So I'm just going to put this down here and now the narrator pulls 2 books worth of heroes for the turn. We'll put Princess in Peril up here and now that we are in the build phase, I'm going to go ahead and build this save point. The way that the spell cards work is if you look on the bottom of them, they have 2 different symbols, a hammer and an axe. And those kind of change a little bit, but they're always the same way. Hammers are always facing that way. Axes are always facing that way. Sometimes they'll have both of them on there. Basically, that's saying what phase you can play these in, whether it be the build phase or the adventure phase. That's when you'll be able to play these particular spell cards. I can play the Princess in Peril right now and pull something right to my dungeon in order to fight it off. I think I'm going to wait on that though for right now. What I am going to do is I will grab the save point and that will be what we build. So that's going to go right here into our 3rd spot. And you may destroy this room to retrieve 1 spell card from the discard that you played this turn. I would love to do that when I play Princess in Peril, but I'm not going to do that yet. Instead, we're going to go up here into the bait phase and we're going to grab 2 heroes this time. We're going to grab the cleric and we're going to grab the mage because we have 1 Ankh right now within our dungeon and 3 books because we sent the minion to the library to steal some mystic knowledge. Unfortunately, I only have 1 sword, so I cannot pull you, and you are unable to be pulled for right now unless I had put my mage here, but I did not. So for right now, we're just going to grab these 2 heroes, and heroes go through your dungeon in health order. So this cleric will go first, followed by this mage. Deletorious, Angel of Light, created by the Goddess of Light to defend Arcadia. This kid angel never misses a shot with his enhanced crossbow. Mitchell, the judge. He was wandering the plains, hopelessly lost, ever since his wife, Nikki, sent him to the store for diamond dust sugar. All right, everyone, let's start this adventure off. Deletorious goes first. He is going to go right into this room and unfortunately take 0 damage simply because it is a 0-cost room. But here he takes 3 damage. The trap snaps him and then the trap does a single damage to him. However, before I do anything else, We will go ahead and do the fireball during the bait phase right here. Deal 1 to 6 damage to one hero in your dungeon. And then if I discard a spell, I could do it again to anybody at the entrance. It would be everybody at the entrance. But I think, actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do fireball because I'd rather have more. What I am going to do is, I think what I'm going to do is we're going to back up a little bit. After Deltorius has made his way into this room, we would then have played Annihilator, giving this trap room an additional +3 worth of damage until the end of turn. So with him going into that, so this is used, that's discarded, he would then go into here and take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of damage, and then pop right into the spawn point, killing him there. Boom, dead, 8 damage to him. Now we have Mitchell coming in order to be able to do his adventure. We have 0, and that's 3, 4, 5, 6. Destroying both of our heroes that came into our dungeon, claiming 2 souls. That is awesome. All right, so we get those. This is now end of turn, so both of these are gone. I do get to draw 2 cards. So we got the Jackpot Stash, that's sweet, and the Goblin Army. The Goblin Army is monster rooms adjacent to this room have +1 damage dealt, not a +1 counter, +1 damage dealt, and you may destroy this room to double the treasure value of your dungeon's rooms until the end of turn. So that means everything I have is doubled. Wow, that's amazing. And again, as I kind of figured, I was going to get a ton of rooms here just because of that ability. And I only get to play 1 room a turn, so there you go. So we're going to put all these guys right here. Just start filing. I'm going to have to back this camera up. Go figure. But we'll be all right. We'll be okay. We got a Lost Library, a Haunted Library, all kinds of great stuff here, and we can attract more heroes. All right, end of round. Our Meeple teleports home. These all go up here. Now, yes, unfortunately, the way this is going to work is that the next 3 heroes are going to go 1, 2, 3, but I should be able to throw some swords out. I do have a double sword, so I can actually pull 3 heroes right now using that. So let's just also see what goes down here. First, we have Cobalt Union. When you build this room, give all traps adjacent. Oh, that's the other one. So I have one of those already. That is a duplicate, because I think there's 3 of those in the original boss monster, or super boss monster, I should say. Monstrous Monument. When you build this room, choose 1 monster room from the discard pile and put it in your hand. Okay, all right, that's starting to build up, but I'd rather have spells. It's also an Ankh and a sword, so maybe I do grab that. A giant side. Give 1 monster room +3 until the end of turn. Okay. All right, here come the heroes. We have a mage coming in here, and then to the temple is a thief. You don't want them in the temple. And at the stadium, we have another thief. All right, so then thieves will be coming up shortly. For the draft phase, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Monstrous Monument, because I think I may just build that for right now. And then I'm going to take... I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and start clearing out some of these heroes just a little bit more. So I'm going to put my Meeple right here on the stadium. So this thief will then come to my dungeon, regardless of how many treasures I have. And because I put my Meeple down here, my minion now basically taunts this guy into coming in, giving him +2 health. So this is a 6 health thief coming into my dungeon. So now we get to take this, and we'll put that down here in the dungeon. And now we've claimed it already. It doesn't mean that I think this one goes first. It's still going to go in health order, but this has 6, and this is the first one here. Now we're going to go ahead and build, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Cobalt Union right here, and we're going to build this. And I'm going to put it over this mousetrap, which I know the mousetrap is really good for doing that damage, but then it doesn't really do much else otherwise. But if I put the Cobalt Union here, when you build this room, you give all traps adjacent to this room a +1 counter. So now my save point, at the very least, does an additional damage. I think I may also use Fireball in this situation in order to gain some stuff. But for right now, let's see what heroes we attract. We know we need at least 1 Ankh in order to get this cleric here, so we'll get her out of the way. This requires 2 swords, which we do have. We need 3 swords for him. We only have 2, so we can't do that. And we would need 4 spell books for this mage, and we do not have that. But that's still fine. That's still 3 move to the side. Usually if you pull 3 in order to put 3 down, then you at least buy yourself a turn. And the more symbols you get down, the more heroes you get to your dungeon. So that thief is going to be a 6. We have a 4 and a 4. We'll put the cleric in first because that's technically the first one that came in. So this is the adventuring party. Black Leaf. Black Leaf is always the first to scout ahead, swinging across a chasm or disabling a poison trap. She often says there's no danger she's afraid to face, except a life without adventure. Friday 6, Odd Child. Friday makes sure to keep her feet solidly on the ground. She may be a powerful psychic, but she still gets seasick. Hookshot Joe. Once the commander of an elite fighting unit, he lost his left hand in battle. Now, with a grappling hook permanently fused to his arm, Hookshot Joe carries on the fight. Adventure time! Here we go. Our thief first moves on in to the first room, taking 1 damage, so she is down to 5. However, we're gonna go ahead and fireball them up to their face, and I'm actually going to discard its on in order to do it again to everybody at the beginning of the dungeon. So this first fireball is gonna go right into Black Leaf's face. Let's see if we can burn this leaf to a ground. She has 5 health. I could kill her right here. I do! Oh, I do! Boom, boom, boom. Big old fireball smash into her. Oh, so she is gone. Burn, burn, burn. So we have collected her soul. I'm actually going to take that back. I'm not gonna do the and if you discard, because I've already done this. Because I believe I could have chosen to do that afterwards. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm the boss. The narrator is the boss. I tell you how this story goes. All right, moving right along. Friday moves in next for 1 damage, 2 damage, 3, 4 damage, defeating her, adding another soul, and enabling us to draw 2 room cards. Boom, boom, ba-boom, and finished again. And it's 3 more souls added to our pile. And we had the Dizzy Gas Hallway. If the room to the right of this one is a trap, it has +2. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then we have the Arcane Crypt. When you build or uncover this room, you may choose 1 spell card from the discard pile and put it in your hand. There you go. That's what I like to see. I'll wait to build that when we have like Princesses. My God, I have so many rooms here. Oh, this is insane. All right, I've never had this many rooms. Let me just check the book to see if I have a hand limit. Hold on. There happens to be no minimum or maximum to your hand limit, so hooray for that. Come back here, you. Everybody moves up. And what's great right away, just from looking at this, I know that I pull these 2 immediately because I have the swords and the books available for that. Now it's a matter of just trying to see what else I can do in order to pull more heroes. Speaking of which, these might be our last 3 ordinary heroes. We got 1 more cleric coming in, another cleric coming in, and another cleric coming in. So there you go already with the clerics. But I do plan on building more Onks in the future. Let's see if I can actually get these 3 in order to come to me. The rooms that are in are a Spell Slime Incubator. Once per turn, when you cast a spell, give this room +1 counter. Ooh, again, that'll go up to 4. That is amazing. And Summoning Circle. Take a room from the discard pile. I don't need any of that, but man, I wish I could just kind of like burn some of the rooms that I have. Wild Monster. You may immediately build a monster room over an existing room in your dungeon. Oh, that'll get more stuff out of my hand and like burn through that faster. You know what? I'm actually going to take, I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take my mage, and I am going to put them right here. I guess maybe I should try to take another cleric. I could try grabbing one of these clerics. I mean, they'd have 8 health at that point. I don't have too much that's going to do a lot of damage immediately, but I don't even have other things to do other damage. But at least if I get rid of one of them, then I don't have to deal with it later. All right, so I think maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll just put the cleric here. I'm sorry, not that, my minion there, give this cleric +2 health, and then that'll be one that comes to my dungeon. I think I'm going to take the jackpot stash right here, and that's going to go in because that's going to give me 2 money bags. That'll be enough that I need in order to pull that one, thief to my dungeon. And what's funny is this wild monster appears is during the adventure phase. So that means I can immediately throw down something that's way stronger. You would follow all the basic rules. This dungeon is equal to the number of monster dungeons in your dungeon. That doesn't count the boss, by the way. But that's also another one. over an existing room in your dungeon. So this would actually happen after everything was pulled. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, so that goes here. That is 4 rooms. We do not have enough to get our level up yet. Not that it matters, because with the amount of room cards that I have in my hand, it's really not going to matter. We know that this cleric comes down here, and now we bait them in. We have 2 swords, so we know that fighter is coming in. We have 2 books, so we know that mage is coming in. And I now have 3 money bags, so we know that thief comes in as well. Really nice pulling these 3 to get the other 2 down here, and then keeping this minimal. Sooner than later, I will have enough to be able to pull a lot more in, and it also depends on what epic heroes come out. So 6, we'll go from the beginning. Fighter, thief, mage. In the order of cleric, fighter, thief, mage. Oh boy. See, now we have 4 coming into our dungeon. Acacia, I hope that's how you pronounce that. Warrior of Light. Acacia is a carefree soul who makes her own luck. A strong defender of good, she is unearthed by even the darkest dungeon. Scoff, Beast Trainer. Going against the tradition of her community, Scoff chose to befriend the beast terrorizing her town. Jesta, the Rogue. Okay. So you take the big guy on the left with the axe, you've got the 2 little ones on the right with swords, I'll take this dangerous looking treasure chest with no lock over here. Tieg and the Magic Bubble. Armed with his trusty bubble, Tieg braves dangerous castles and dungeons in search of the musical instruments stolen from his people. All right, here we go, adventure time. Our cleric first goes into the jackpot stash. Dealing 1 damage to her, down from 8 to 7. And unfortunately, as I look over here at my cards, there is nothing that's going to help me defend myself. So we know we're down to 7. This has a +1 counter for 6, 5, 4, 3, and this cleric right here is telling the narrator how the story goes, and we just don't like that. 1 damage to our narrator. Back in we go to the fighter. This will be a little bit easier to deal with because now we know we have 1, 2, 3. Actually, no. 4, 5. I am going to take a lot of damage right here because Scoff scoffs at my dungeon apparently and does another point of damage to my narrator while Jesta laughs at my dungeon, doing 5 points of damage to them. Ow, I am now at 3 out of 5 damage to my guy. But this mage right here will die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flipping that over and enabling to draw 2 room cards. I think I may, as great as that spawn point is, I need to figure out something else in order to put that. But can't go wrong with having 2 more room cards. Ooh, Minion Arena. It has absolutely no things on it, but I can put my Meeple on it in order to, just give it 5 rooms, 5 power for that turn. Problem is once I play it, I can't put anything on top. Well, I can't put any advanced rooms on top of it, but that's okay. The Dragon Hatch. This room contains all 4 treasure types. Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta, all right, that save point has gotta go. All right, so I got a lot of really good cards here. It's just now a matter of how I want to play these down in order to be able to, I may do the Minion Arena first, just because that first initial 5 points of damage is going to do a lot of good for me, especially now with the epic heroes coming out, and they all have like 11 to 13 health apiece. Speaking of which, Minion comes back. He's been training at the stadium, so now he is ready to go. We'll put those in here, move these down. And as of this point, we can grab this cleric. Not that one, unfortunately. Yep, more clerics. Here we go. Another mage in, and we have another mage coming in. Okay. Room-wise, the clock tower. When you build this room, give it 4 +1 counters. At the end of each turn, remove 1. So that, of course, ticks down, hence the clock. The Haunted Hall. You may destroy this room to send a hero in this room back to town. Okay, so just scare them away. That's a 2 strength. That's great. Adulthood. Immediately level up. Or if you're already leveled up, draw a spell and a room card. All right, which one of these do I even want? All right, so I'm going to take the spell Adulthood just so I can draw from the spell deck in order to be able to get more stuff. And as far as my Meeple goes, I am going to, I am going to put them right here in the end in order to give that final room +2 because there's a lot of strong enemies coming up, and I want to make sure to have at least a little bit of a boost at that end. This also might be the last time I use spawn points, so we're just going to have this go out with a bang and like deal massive damage to whatever walks in. We're then also going to take the dragon hatchery, and this is what we're going to build. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cover over the save point right here. Now, they do share symbols. They share multiple symbols, actually, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and destroy this room and double the treasure values of everything within our dungeon for the end of turn. So everything is doubled, and that's going to be great. I'm unfortunately only going to get 2, onks, but I'll have 4 books because the narrator is technically considered in the dungeon, I believe. You guys let me know what you think out there, but I believe he is. So I would have the first 2 clerics and that mage coming to my area. I was thinking about playing Princess in Peril in order to pull this, but I've decided against it. Instead, we're just going to go right to the bait phase. I built my dragon hatchery, which is fine. So we know both of these clerics and this mage end up coming into my dungeon. We got our first epic hero right here in order to be able to come on in, as well as both of these clerics, one at 6 health, the other at 4 health. Epic hero, Dame Ender, Cinder Reborn. Dame Ender has been chosen to defeat all the dungeon lords, and she'll do it no matter how many times she has to die. Paul Rightman, hero at law. Have you been unfairly harmed by a boss monster? Have you been unjustly accused of being a werewolf? Call now! Elf Star. Once an acolyte limited to simple orisons, I can't really read it, it's such small writing. Elf Star is now a true priestess who has mastered the mind bondage spell. Ooh, she's accepted that nothing is more important than her spiritual growth. All right, we're gonna move right into this. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring our Dame Ender right here into the beginning. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to play Wild Monster, because the 0 wouldn't matter. You may merely build a monster room over an existing room in the dungeon. It's going to have to follow all the basic rules. And for that, we're going to take the Goblin Army right here, and then we're going to place it on top of the Kobold Union. So now, this monster rooms adjacent to this get +1 additional attack. So we'll spin this over. Remember, these aren't counters. These are just things right now, so this will always have +1, but for the end of turn, it's +3, and our dragon hatchery now has +1 because of it. Unfortunately, that doesn't matter for the mage because she's already entered the room and done the thing. However, moving over to the goblin armory, what's guarding it? God, it's on! So with this being played, if you have 3 wounds or more, kill 1 hero in your dungeon. Sorry, Dame Ender, your end is now. Blah! Moving along with our last guys, Paul moves on in. Sorry, Paul. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the additional 3 defeats him. And Elf Star with your tiny writing and little eyes and cute little ears, I guess. Sure. 1, 2, boom, and also gone. And I get to draw 2 room cards. Adventure done. We get Fangroot Jungle, 3 damage. Wow, if this... Once per turn, if a hero with +2 dies in this room, give 2 different monster rooms in your dungeon +1 counter. Okay. When your minions visit this room, give this room... When your minion visits the library, I'm sorry, you give this room +1 counter. All right, got it. That incentivizes you to put them into the library. We'll put these over here. I feel like I'm going to do that Fangroot Jungle, but I still haven't even leveled up my boss yet, which I'd rather do for the adulthood, but that's okay. Do our cleanup here. Get rid of these. We don't have any other spells. You guys move over. You teleport back. And more epic heroes. A dual one. Onks and, money bags. So I would need at least 1 of each, and then any combination of 2 more. So either 2 more onks, 2 more money bags, or 1 and 1. I don't even think I matched that right now, so it doesn't matter. He does have a special ability. We'll worry about that if he comes to the dungeon. A fighter over here. I actually can pull that right now. With the Goblin Armory out, I can pull him. And a mage. I'm going to need to do some damage. All right, first room, we have the Elemental Generator. This room has +X, where X is equal to the number of spell cards in hand. I need one where it's number of room cards in hand. Overworld Gate. Oh, so it's like the hatchery. When you build this room, if it is your leftmost room of your dungeon, you may choose 1 epic hero in town and place it at the entrance of your dungeon. So it's an immediate pull. Ooh, okay, so that'd be something to grab and like move. Exhaustion. Deal X damage to one hero in your dungeon where X is equal to the number of rooms in your dungeon. All right, well, we need to build another room immediately anyway. And I'm actually going to take my Meeple and put him back over here in the hideout in order to give this +3 again, because I need to just deal as much damage as I can right now. I want to grab that Minion Arena, but now is not the time. As far as what I'm going to grab here, I think what I'm going to grab, man, that overworld gate is great in order to pull somebody when you build this, because this turn I'm not going to be pulling a lot of heroes, and if I am, I'm going to I'm afraid to take any damage here because it's going to be terrible. I'm going to take Exhaustion as a spell card, and it's only going to do 4 damage to something. I couldn't kill it, but still. All right, let's go. This might be it. This might be the end of it right here, everybody, because I don't think I have enough in order to be able to do anything. You may destroy another room in a dungeon to give all things +2. I'm just kind of looking to see what I can do in order to power stuff up. I don't have any traps in my dungeon anymore, so the dizzy gas hallway doesn't help. I would have loved to throw down the Minion Arena right now, but I've already used my Minion. You do that before you do your Minion placement. Any of the advanced rooms, I can't put anything on right now. You know what? I'm going to grab this Arcane Crypt. We'll play that because when you build or uncover this room, you can choose a spell card from the discard pile, put it in your hand, and I think I could giant size something. That would be really helpful. Fireball was super good too, but that's also risky. I could have a very low roll. Same thing for the Annihilator. I'm going to grab Giant Size because at least that +3 will be able to build up some power. Now, +3 will actually do 11 damage. So this Cleric I will get and defeat. This Mage also I will get and defeat because, again, my narrator gives me a book. This, I'm short 1. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Oh, no. That fighter is going to hit me. All right, we'll just exhaust. We'll just use the exhaustion spell because that'll kill it and send that away. This is what I'm talking about in terms of like strategy. You got to use your spells and all your other stuff in order to be able to do the best you can in order to fight enemies, heroes that enter your dungeon, such as Antonius, the Rune Knight. An elite dragoon, Sir Tony wears armor inscribed with magic runes of ancient and mysterious power. J, Arcane Crafter. Using his trusty tools, this mage can create unique solutions to get through the best dungeons. Tyrone, Pharaoh Ascendant. When Tyrone was young, the temple elders praised his hieroglyphics. But what began as mere artistry grew into miraculous power. Now his wisdom is revered throughout Arcadia. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to giant size our dragon hatchery. Why not, right? So, these dragons grow to full size, which there is a grown-up dragon hatchery, which has attack to it. That's an advanced dungeon. So, but that'll do 3 damage there. That actually I would play after my fighter has first gone in. So it'll do 1 damage, 4 damage, so that's 5 damage to you, 6. After we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and blast it with Exhaust, dealing X damage to 1 hero in your dungeon, where X is equal to the number of rooms in your dungeon. That would be 4 more damage to you, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I get to draw 2 rooms. Go figure. And now with that said, we get to look at the rest of this and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to Jay, defeating him, and this cleric comes in, and Tyrone is back to his sarcophagus. Defeating these guys are great, but man, I don't know how much more I can handle. Hydra's Mirror, once per turn, when a hero survives this room, give it +1 counter. Would have been great to have that earlier. At the end of turn, destroy this room, which has 4 counters, so that would eventually kill itself. And the Golem Factory, once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, draw a room card. Sure, that's fun. All right, back we go. We lose that, we lose this. All those powers have gone down. Minion comes back, move on over. Discard these. I would love to have those in my hand, but you only can draft 1 unless you have a special ability. Epic heroes. We have an archer. We have a cleric. And we have a thief, which is really only one more round left. Once I deal these guys out, I would take one more turn defending my dungeon, and then that would be the end of the game. Moving down here for our room deck. The Genie Lounge. When you build this room, if you have no spell cards in your hand, draw a spell card. And Cryptid Chrysalis. When you build this room, either discard and draw a spell or give this room +1 counter. Okay, that at least makes it a little stronger. Plus it has a sword and book. As far as spell goes, super! Deal 3 damage to a hero, or if you are leveled up, 5. I am not leveled up, but I will level up right now. Or at least at the very least after I finish this. So we're going to put this right here. We're going to make that a +3. And then I am going to go ahead and just draft super right now. Put that in here, and just going into the last round, like, I want to just go in and defeat things and win. You'll give me 2 if hero dies in this, but I don't really need swords anymore, right? What's funny is I pull pretty much everything, but we're going to grab the Minion Arena, and we're going to have this go in as like a powerhouse for our last round. All right, so now we've officially leveled up. By doing that, I'm going to take this crown and we're going to put that right on top of our narrator. He is narrating one heck of a nail-biting story right now. Oh boy. So it's actually a first player marker right here whenever you're playing multiplayer game, but I like saying this is how I know my monster has leveled up. So going forward for the rest of the game, once per turn, if I have no cards in hand, I can draw 5 and 2 spells, try 5 rooms, 2 spells. That's not going to happen because I have plenty in my hand. As far as what's going on here, because you were in the 1 treasure spot, this Necromancer is tired of waiting, so it only needs either 1 Ankh or 1 money bag in order to go forward, so I will choose, that's coming to me regardless. I need 2 books, which I definitely have between my narrator and Dragon Hatchery. The Archer would need 1 of each, 1 sword and 1 money bag, which I have, and then any 1 other, I'm sorry, it's a 3, plenty of swords, so he's coming to me. 4 Ankhs right here. I have 2, so you do not come my way. All right, so we're grabbing our heroes. They are coming to the front of our dungeon. We'll do the Necromancer first, then Archer, and then Mage. Epic Hybrid Hero Necromancer. This hero is lowered to your dungeon with the highest combination of Cleric and Thief, but I told you how I do it, so if this hero survives your dungeon, choose 1 face-down hero in your scorekeeping area and flip it face up. For the Archer, this hero skips the last room in your dungeon. Uh-oh, that's the one doing the most damage. And Chai Kang, Mystical Warlock of You.
Hey, listen, I think this boss monster is
Silence Fairy. I will crush him through fire and flames in the name of the Order. Oh man, I wish I had the ability to just give this room its +5 now, because then I actually would have gone through. I'm calling this my last round, because I don't think I'm going to survive it. Oh boy. First things first, our Necromancer. As they go through, what are we going to do here? Let's first do the Minion Arena and play Adulthood. If you've already leveled up, draw a spell card. A room card can be played during the adventure phase because that's the axe, the newer way they do axes. So with that said, our room is the Wind Up Trap. You place your Meeple on here, or your minion, you would gain 1 counter. And we have Lightning Bolt. Ooh, deal 3 damage to 1 hero in your dungeon, and if you discard another spell card, deal 3 damage to each hero at the entrance. Oh, that might just save me. Nope. No, it does not, because that's not how math works. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even if I did Lightning Blast, it would be 9, 10, 11. My Necromancer here does 12 damage, thus doing 2 wounds to me. He technically did survive. If this hero survives your dungeon, choose 1 face-down hero in your scorekeeper and flip it face up, which would have done another damage to me already, so we'll go ahead and do that. I'll just take one of the basic ones. The Cleric. Paul is back for revenge. Oh, that sounds fun. And that, my friends, is it. We have finished the game by the narrator apparently losing track of his own story.
Game over.
So ideally what I would have done in the next round would be to send my minion to the arena to do +5, use the Princess in Peril. Let's just see who our last 3 heroes would have been. A Thief, another Thief, look at all those money bags, and a Fighter. I would have been able to pull this Fighter over here to me. I would have needed a lot of money bags. So I don't think I even would have been able to pull any of the other ones as is. But again, that's just how it is when you play Boss Monster or Super Boss Monster. You know, it's not, you're never always going to get all the symbols you want, and it's a matter of how you play the cards. This is just another example of that. Now, unfortunately, in this situation, I didn't get through the pile, but most of the time, I would say this is about the second out of now the 6 or 7 times I've played this where I didn't end up getting through the town pile. But that's the challenge. You don't want to go into this being super easy and like wanting to constantly just win all the time, because then it's not fun. You want to get these challenges. You want to do these things for you in order to make the game harder and, you know, more enticing to play over and over again. And I think just mixing those heroes together like that works very well. As far as our final score goes, I'm just going to organize it. There we go. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 36. That's really not good. That is terrible, to be honest with you, because we took so many wounds. Paul came back, so I lost a point from there. So, I mean, overall, I think I did pretty good, like in terms of just what I was given. That first room you build is your clutch room. What did I have that one time? One of my best games, I had the elemental generator as my first room on the second round. And I just built this thing up like crazy because you could do X damage equal to the number of spell cards. And I just didn't play any spell cards. And this last room was able to do like, it could annihilate any hero that came into it. I just then started building out from here, trying to get the most symbols out in order to pull the most heroes that way. So that was a fun little combo that I had at one time. So there you have it, everybody. Super Boss Monster. Be sure to let me know what you think of this down in the comment section below. Have you been able to try this out for yourself using the solo mode rules? Again, it's beat your own score. You're just going to kind of go back into it, redoing all that stuff together. I would just be shuffling back together all the room cards and the spell cards that I did. And I think going forward, I have a few things from the latest expansion or latest Kickstarter that I have in my cart for older expansions. Mostly the stuff that focuses on items for the heroes. And I think I can incorporate that into here without having to worry too much about diluting anything. My main goal, just to let anybody out there know, to make it clear, is to have this set up as fast as possible and break down as fast as possible. So right now, with all these room cards, all I would need to do is just slap them together into the pile, put it back in the box, and I was done. Still really good. I don't know. I'm still satisfied with this. And I think that's another big point. If you're happy and you're satisfied with the way that a run goes, then why not just kind of go with it from there? Board games are amazing like that because you can house rule them however you want and make it in a way that makes them more challenging, less challenging, however it is, so long as it's on your table and so long as you're having fun with it. Ultimately, that is what matters. In any event, guys, thank you so much again for joining me on this adventure through Super Boss Monster. Let me know again what you thought of all this down in the comments section below. If you're looking to pick this up for yourself, there will be various links down in the comments section as well. Checking out Super Boss Monster, regular Boss Monster, and of course, the link to the Kickstarter for Super Boss Monster 2, which has a dice throwing mechanic to it, and also available Boss Monster Jr., which is a simplified version of this game, completely standalone. You can't combine it with all of this stuff at all, but it is for a younger audience in order to be able to give them a great introduction into the world of Boss Monster and then building it out from there. So check all that out in order to see that and to kind of get an idea of what it is that Super Boss Monster 2 will bring to the game. The only thing I really wish for this game for the future are overlays for all of this, because there was a point where I had a lot of onks that I couldn't grab, but if I had like one more, it would be great. Because the temple is all the way to the left, the majority of the time, I can't even use this for its ability because it's not uncovered. Now, I know taking one from here is a really good ability, but I still think that there should be overlays for all of these. Leave the tavern where it is. And I think there's an overlay for the tavern coming out. I just don't think I can use it in solo. But an overlay for these 4 that during a game, I can mix and match them together and then have them maybe hideout, library, stadium, tavern, or something along, or just library, stadium, hideout, temple, you know, in various orders, thus adding more replayability and more variance to the game. Just a thought. Let me know what you think. And of course, in order not to miss any more Boss Monster action, because this is not going to be the last time you hear about Boss Monster on this channel, let me tell you that, or check out any other fun videos I put out for you to enjoy. Be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. Again, Ways to help the channel are abundant down there, but no matter what, it always comes down to your view, your like, sharing this video, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel. All that goes a long way to helping the channel grow and for me to also be able to come out here and do more games like this for you guys, play them for you, show them how they work, and hear all your opinions and things like that as well. If anything went wrong with this, let me know down in the comment section below as well. Always check those for rule adjustments or changes, or if I managed to royally mess something up, and I really don't think I did. I still lost, so, you know, hindsight is 2020 regardless of all of that. But regardless, thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together within the world of Boss Monster. No matter where it goes next, I will be sure to follow it every step of the way. You guys have a good one, and I'll catch you all later.